Hello, I am Dominguez. I am a children's book author and illustrator. I'm lucky to be able to draw and tell stories all day long. I'm also Mexican. The wonderful thing about my work, my children's books, is I get to bridge the two together, the creative part with the Mexican part, into one product, a book. I do that often by either making the book bilingual or showcasing a bit of the Latino experience. For me, it's more than teaching a language or showing a culture. It's about being inclusive. It's about saying that Latinos should be in books along with everyone else. Now, to understand why I do what I do, we have to go back to the beginning, 1982 to be exact. That is the year I was born, and I was born in Mexico City. Mexico City is an amazing place. It's built on Aztec ruins, surrounded by 2 volcanoes, and when I was little, it was the most populated city in the world. Sadly, I don't have any memories of living there. I only lived there for a little bit. My family moved to Texas in 1984. Growing up, I was a shy little girl. You see, I struggled with language. Basically, my English and my Spanish were jumbled up together. I was caught between 2 worlds, 2 languages. I even had to take speech classes. Those speech classes are a big reason that I have no accent today, although I'm still known to mess up or stammer over a word or 2 or more. It was also recommended to me at that time that I only speak English. The reasoning was that if I tried to speak the 2, it might slow down my speech progress. So I grew up hearing and understanding Spanish, but only being able to reply back a little bit. This was hard when extended family came to visit from Mexico. Hispanics hug and kiss everyone. So I knew that they loved me, but it can be lonely when you don't have the words that you want to say to your own family. Thankfully, I had books and drawing. Words were much easier to read than to say out loud. And I've been drawing since I've been able to hold a crayon. I would draw on everything, even the furniture. Upon reflection, it sounds like a straight shot to a bilingual children's book career, right? Well, not exactly. Like most people, I had my lost days where I had no idea what I wanted to do. But I did do well in school, and I received a scholarship to study art in college. And eventually, I figured out I wanted to illustrate children's books. Thankfully, I was referred to the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators by an editor. They have conferences across the country where you meet people working in the industry. It was actually at my first conference where I came up with the idea for my book, María had a Little Llama. You see, the illustrators were given the assignment to do Mary Had a Little Lamb, a storyboard. And I thought that sounded really boring. We all know what Mary looks like. She's from the English countryside and has a big fluffy white dress and has a lamb. I had no clue how I can make it my own, but I was determined to make it good. So I went to the library for inspiration. It was there that I found a picture of a girl hugging a llama, and then it clicked. Llamas often live with lambs, and where do llamas live? Peru. So I began looking on books on Peru. I found color, pattern, beautiful faces, and incredible landscapes. There was something inspiring, but also relatable. I saw aspects of my heritage in their faces and in their culture. I worked really hard on that dummy, or that storyboard, and it was well received at the conference. People even recommended that I should try to publish it. Well, it was published in 2013 by Henry Holt, and later received the Little Belpré Honor from the American Library Association in 2014. And in case you're wondering, Little Belpré is the name of the first Latina librarian in New York who brought many Latinos into the library with her famous story times and puppet shows. The honor recognizes Latino books that best promote and represent the Latino experience. I still pinch myself a little bit. I had just done this for an assignment, but I realize now why the book resonates. To the majority of kids, it shows them a world they're not familiar with, which is great. But to a smaller group, it's a world that they do know, but rarely see. The reality is, according to a poll by the Cooperative Children's Book Center in 2015, 73.4% of picture books only featured white characters. Latinos or Hispanics only represented 2.4% of characters in picture books. A picture book is more likely to show an animal, a truck, or a fantastical creature like a dragon than any minority. This does not reflect the world that we live in. Thankfully, the numbers are changing, and this is a growing conversation. There's even a wonderful organization called We Need Diverse Books that advocates essential changes in the publishing industry. This is progress, but there are two big things that I would love to see. The first is to see diverse books not be on a separate bookshelf. Diverse books shouldn't be cast into a subcategory away from the rest of the books. And they shouldn't be brought out for 1 month a year, like Hispanic Heritage Month or Black History Month. Or a special holiday like Cinco de Mayo. There's room for all of us on the main bookshelf. Second, I would love to see books be inclusive. Books that widen the scope of characters so it better reflects the world that we live in. We all know it, but books teach empathy. For the span of a book, you can walk in someone else's footsteps and understand where they're coming from. So I'm doing my part, but a more inclusive future really rests on the next generation and on all of you. We need a more diverse group to go into publishing. That way, the people that are making the books, acquiring, editing, and marketing, can make sure they're getting content out there that represents everyone. And you can make a difference today by reading and purchasing a book by a diverse author. Try even a bilingual one. Being bilingual is awesome. Knowing 2 languages just means double the friendships. So I'm happy to say, after years of struggling, I'm finally fluent in Spanish. I took classes as an adult, and I did it. It's never too late. I feel like I finally found my voice in Spanish, and that's what we all want, to have a voice. We all just want to be heard. No matter where we come from, our skin tone, or background, we all matter, and we all deserve that right. Thank you.